Hi, welcome back to the channel Fluency with Siri. In this video, we are going to learn how can you have a great conversation in English. So without any further ado, let's get started. Of course, we all want to have great conversations in English because that is when we get an opportunity to communicate with someone and also we get an opportunity to learn from someone. Because this journey is all about learning from people, learning from experiences, and learning from situations. And to learn from all of them, it's very important for all of us to have some great conversations. When we have a conversation, we sometimes tend to land up in some troubles. So that is what we are going to talk about in today's video. How can you have a great conversation? Talking about the first point is to hold respect. Whenever you are having a conversation with anybody who is older than you, who's younger than you, especially if it is the first time that you are having a conversation with that person, it's very important that you be respectful to that person. Not giving respect to someone can be a big bummer when it comes to having a conversation. It's always important that you hold respect to the other person that you are having a conversation with. It does not matter they are younger than you, they're older than you, they've achieved more than you, lesser than you. It does not matter at all. You definitely have to show respect and you definitely have to be very respectful whenever you are trying to initiate a conversation or you are in the conversation, because we all know this quote, which is give respect and take respect. So you have to definitely give respect. Only then people are going to respect you in a conversation, and it is our minimum responsibility and a very minimal tip that we have to keep in our mind is to be respectful whenever we are having a conversation. Talking about the second point, which is to be a good listener first. When we are having a conversation in English, make sure that you are being a good listener in that conversation. Don't be a person who is always having that urge to share thoughts. When you have that urge to share thoughts, the other person thinks that you are not listening at all. If you want your thoughts to be heard, you definitely have to listen to what the other person needs to say. So you be a good listener, only then it is called a conversation. A conversation is called a conversation when you talk, the other person listens, and the other person talks and you listen. So that is when it is called a conversation. Only you go on talking, you go on sharing your thoughts, you just want to express all your ideas, all your thoughts, and win a medal doesn't make you a good person in the conversation. Be a good listener first. Before you be a good speaker, make sure that you are listening to what the other person has to say about the topic that you are discussing. So it's very important that you be a good listener in a conversation to make the conversation very efficient. Point number 3 is to not to show off your language. When we are in the initial days or when we are in the journey of learning English, we are very much interested to use all the fancy words. So if you are trying to have a conversation, there is nothing wrong if you are using the simple English possible over there. If the other person is able to understand it, that is good. You necessarily don't have to complicate the conversation by showing off something. If that comes naturally to you to use good vocabulary, then that's good. But if you're deliberately trying to show off your words or to trying to complicate the entire conversation, that is when the conversation is going to go wrong. Try to be as simple as you can and make sure that your thoughts should be understood by the other person in a conversation, and that is what makes it a good conversation. When you try not to complicate it, that is when the conversation is going to end on a happy note. We are here having a conversation to learn something from the other person, to learn from that situation, not to showcase our English vocabulary, right? Keep it simple, keep it minimal, and do not try to complicate the conversation, because that is what we do not want at the end of the day, right? So keep it absolutely simple, and there is no need to showcase your vocabulary. Again, I'm telling you, if it comes naturally to you, you are someone who's been habituated to use fancy vocabulary right from your childhood, then you can go ahead with it. But if you are someone who is in the journey and trying to communicate, trying to have a conversation, and you got a thought in your mind that okay, now I'm going to showcase my vocabulary, that is wrong. Don't do it, because you will end up encountering a problem of not getting enough words or getting stuck while you speak in English. So this is a very important tip. And the fourth point which we have to talk about is to be present in the moment. It's very obvious, very much possible for all of us to get distracted by things happening around us. You could be present in the moment, but your mind is thinking something else, which is a very big mistake that we are making, especially when we are having a conversation. When you do not be present in the moment, when you do not be present in the moment when you have a conversation, that shows that you are careless, that shows that you're not at all interested to have a conversation with the other person, which is definitely not a good sign. So it's important that you be present in the moment, enjoy that particular moment, try to learn as much as you can, try to share as much as you can. And if you be present in the moment, you are going to remember that particular conversation, and the lessons that you learn from that conversation are also going to be in your mind forever. So do not try to get distracted by anything when you are having a conversation. Be present in the moment. And it is obvious that we get distracted, but we have to practice to be in the moment and to do our best in that particular moment. So be present. Fifth tip, and the last one which I would like to suggest to all of you, is to be empathetic. When you are having a conversation, you definitely have to understand the other person's emotions. Just like how you have emotions, just like how you have a lot of thoughts to share, the other person has those emotions. So make sure that you are being empathetic whenever you're trying to have a conversation. Trying to express only your emotions and not respecting the other person's emotions is definitely not a good thing that you are doing in a conversation. So make sure that you are being empathetic and trying to understand everything that the other person is trying to say. That is when it will be a good conversation. And it's always good that you be humble in a conversation. There is nothing wrong if you be humble and if you be empathetic. So all the 5 tips or the 5 points that I've told you in today's video are going to help you to have great conversations in our life, because conversations are very important if you want to be fluent in English. And to have great conversations, all these tips are going to come really, really handy. So I would request all of you to keep all these tips in your mind before you have conversation with someone in English, because in our journey we definitely need to have conversations to improve our English. And if we keep all these tips in our mind, those are going to lead to great conversations. So that's it for this video. I truly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this one, and I will see you guys in my next video. Till then, you please take care of yourself. I will see you soon. Bye.